It's a mid-January night here at the Harbourview Mini Stadium as we're getting ready for Red Stripe Football Mondays close to the harbour on the south coast of Jamaica, and it's the home team Harbourview looking to continue their good form from last week when they upset Mount Pleasant, and with 7 or 8 days behind us, an opportunity again for Harbourview to get another good result against the odds against the Mount Pleasant team that are number 2 in the league at the moment. Strong performance by Mount Pleasant last week, George, but in the dying moments they lost it.
Yeah, there's an old adage that if you work hard you will get results. Mount Pleasant will tell you that that's not true. They worked hard for the bulk of the 90 minutes last week, but at the end they were undone by an inspired piece of play from Oderland Harding, and then an assassin's finish from Norman Campbell, undoing the hard work that Mount Pleasant had done. You can't say Harbourview didn't deserve the 3 points last week.
Yes, they really worked hard for it, this Harbourview team. That match entered the 22nd round of the competition, the third and final round, round 23 now of the season off and running. These are the results that we had yesterday. Dunbeholden, undefeated now in their last 6 games, the best unbeaten run in the league, 1-0 over Cavalier. Twice now they've beaten Cavalier in the last 2 meetings. Portmore United looking to retain their title, 2-0 over Malines, who are continuing to struggle. Tivoli Gardens, 3 wins on the trot now, 1-0 over UWI FC, who are bottom of the table with Veer United, who were beaten again by Waterhouse, ending a 4-match winless streak. This Waterhouse team beaten finalists 2 years in a row. And look at the result between Humberland and Arnett Gardens. Humberland got goal. Former Arnett Gardens man. Humberland team there.
Yeah, Arnett Gardens like an inner tube that is losing air. There's urgent need for a patch. Waterhouse, 3-point separation between themselves and Mount Pleasant. There is a tight thing beneath those top 2 though, because Humberland, Portmore, Dunbeholden and Arnett Gardens are in close quarters, and then Tivoli would like to think that they are also firmly into the mix given their recent revival since Admiral Bailey came to town. They are just outside the playoff spots, just 2 points off Arnett Gardens in 6th, but the 2 at the bottom, the UWI and Veer United, they've been excised from the rest of the table, and you're almost pretty certain right now that UWI and Veer United will be playing elsewhere next season.
That's certainly looking that way now. They've both had only 1 win in the last 22 matches. Malines not much better. They have won just 1 in their last 17. Head-to-head between the Harbourview team and Mount Pleasant. Harbourview getting a win last week that continued to show that they are stride for stride, head-to-head wise, on par with Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, 9 goals in the 4 games, and the trend suggests we won't get a 0-0 tonight, which should delight the neutrals and of course us as the commentators. It was a good game last week. The surface is even much better this week given the rain that we had here, making things soft. We know that this hard bumpy surface here at the compound is not conducive to good football, but the softer underfoot conditions will be appreciated by the midfielders and the ball players on tap, and there are quite a few of them across both teams.
Yes, and the good thing about the rain earlier on today, George, it wasn't heavy rain at any point. It was just steady rain, not hard rain, but just steady and light enough, but continuous enough to wet the field and make the service a lot better for the players tonight.
Yeah, so the studs will hold, but not soft enough for the field to cut up, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Harbourview coming in here looking, as we said, for back-to-back wins over the Mount Pleasant team, and they did so much right last week based on their work ethic that I don't think there's much they can do differently tonight to get a result.
Yeah, the coach indicated that maybe they'll go on the front foot earlier. They were a bit passive in the early stages last week, or maybe they were just pushed back by the hard-running Mount Pleasant early in the contest. But guess what? The incentive for this match is clear. If they win, they'll move further away from the relegation zone, which is what caused the sacking of the previous coach in the first place. Harbourview wants to separate themselves from the relegation trapdoor, because relegation would almost kill this business model that they have of blooding players in this Premier League and sending them overseas for big bucks.
Well, Mount Pleasant are 3 points off the leaders, Waterhouse, and with a victory tonight, they will join them at the top of the table on points with 43. But they would need to win by 5 clear goals tonight based on the goal difference to unseat Waterhouse as the championship leaders.
Yeah, the finishing of Mount Pleasant last week was the poorest aspect of their game. Every other aspect was right. Everything else was good, perhaps at the end for the defending for the Norman Campbell goal. But their attackers got chances, got gilt-edged chances that you would expect men in form like Kamara Bushy-Beckford is to put away those chances. He didn't. They didn't collectively as a unit, Mount Pleasant, and I'm not sure that they'll finish as poorly this week as they did last week.
So we're getting ready for game time here tonight with Harbourview looking to put another one on this Mount Pleasant team. As you see, the head-to-head twice this season these two teams have met, and twice Harbourview have beaten the Mount Pleasant team, even though Mount Pleasant are so far ahead of them in the point standings. Mount Pleasant number 2 in the land at the moment, and Harbourview all the way down at number 9. Sportsmax, the home of champions. On our app, you can watch Red Stripe Premier League football free on a Monday night, only in Jamaica. That's of course on the regular channel. You're seeing us all over the Caribbean. The Youth Olympic Games being staged in Lausanne. It's 2020, and the action started over a week ago. And the ice hockey gold medal match will be seen on Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time.
Yeah, and more from the Youth Olympics, because the free skiing and the snowboarding men's and women's bigger finals are set for Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. if you're in Jamaica. It's high noon if you're outside of Jamaica. Sportsmax and the Sportsmax app of that. And then, of course, they wrap things up with the closing ceremony 2 hours after that last big event, Wednesday 1 p.m., 2 p.m. ECT. Sportsmax and the Sportsmax app, again, have you covered.
La Liga lives on Sportsmax and Sportsmax 2, and huge tussle at the top of the table at the moment between Barcelona and Real Madrid, joint top of the table at the moment based on points, but Barcelona marginally ahead on goal difference. You'll be seeing some of the action in the coming days.
Yeah, Valencia beaten 4-1 on the weekend. They'll have the motivation to get a good result. Barcelona come visiting live Saturday, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. ECT, of course, Sportsmax 2. And Real Madrid play on Sunday. Valladolid, the team part owned by the Brazilian Ronaldo, Sunday 3 p.m., 4 p.m. ECT. The action again on Sportsmax 2.
We're approximately 20 minutes away to match time here, and the Harbourview team, they're going through their warming up drills, and they're at home in front of their home fans tonight, getting ready to give their fans what they hope will be another winning outing against Mount Pleasant team that has a Malines player, Jeremy Nelson, in from the January transfer. And we'll see him tonight because he is on the starting roster. We'll be back with more on the build-up after the break.
Defender to electrify the crowd. Look at this play. Oops, I'm gone.
It's not too hot night here at the Harbourview Mini Stadium, 26 degrees Celsius. There was some rain earlier on. Slight chance of rain tonight. Not all that humid, and Guess the Christmas breeze is still with us, George, because we're feeling a steady, cool breeze coming from the sea.
Yeah, thankfully so. The temperature gauge shows 26 degrees Celsius, roundabout right. Suggesting the humidity may not be as high as 67%. And the wind reading 18 kilometers per hour, roundabout right as well.
Harbourview, the home team. They were 9th last season and looking to significantly improve on that this season, although that's the position they're occupying the table at the moment. 4-time champions, 2000, 07, 2010 and 2013 as well. And with a victory tonight, they will displace Cavalier in the number 8 spot and move closer to a playoff position.
Yeah, this year will equal the longest time they've gone between titles since they first won the title in the year 2000. Harbourview will not win the Premier League this season, I don't think. This man is key to their fortunes this year, Romario Campbell. He is the kind of creative midfielder that they didn't have in the first game. He will be able to find the defense-splitting passes onto which the likes of Norman Campbell and Babito McDonald can run. He can dictate the pace of the game, how fast it's played, how well the tempo. He can raise the tempo, he can cool things down. He is what you call a metronome. You go to your dictionary, a metronome is almost like a thermostat on an air conditioner. It turns the temperature up, it turns it down. That's Romario Campbell in a nutshell for you, and this man will be happy that he's on the field. Norman Campbell had to forage and work for a lot of the things that he got going on the offensive front last week. With Romario Campbell in the squad, he'll know that he can run through, almost certain that the passes will come to him. This is how he finished the game for Harbourview last week. Craig Bladale Richie taking on one-on-one and with the left foot shot beyond the goalkeeper. That was Norman Campbell at his best last week. He'll hoping for more with Campbell in the side.
And Ludlow Bernard now in charge of this Harbourview team, looking for results.
Ludlow, you got the win last week with a goal so late Mount Pleasant couldn't recover. How have the boys prepared for this new assignment?
Yeah, well, the focus has been a little bit different this time around. We figured that it's going to be a mental challenge here today, you know. After all, it's a top team we're playing against, so the prospects of beating them on 2 occasions, you know, can be formidable. So you really have to get into their head spaces and provide them with the confidence that it will be required for them to take on this task this evening.
When we spoke last week, you said you had only had 4 days with them prior to that game last Monday. You've had some more time. What have you worked on?
Yeah, we basically work on different systems. I'm still not attuned fully with the team as yet, but what I'm finding out now is that I'm having a little bit more options available to me, so that I want to make this team a very flexible one to really respond to any particular situation on game day.
We spoke about many individual players last week, and some would have caught the eye, but one who I didn't hear get any press, but who certainly played well from the commentator's perspective, was Nicholas Beckett in the midfield, how he managed himself. What are you expecting from your captain tonight?
Yeah, more of what transpired last week. He's a very responsible and mature player in the league, and his presence, although not as mobile as one would have wanted, he provides the leadership and the organization that will be necessary to really take on this Mount Pleasant team in the midfield.
I put it to Teagat Davis that you capitalized on his team getting more tired as the game grew old last week. He said, look, the victor can't say anything. We ran hard the whole game and we were just sucker punched. Do you think they'll flag again late tonight, and do you have a plan for that?
Well, where our conditioning is concerned, I'm very confident of it. I'm expecting to run all evening. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to be up in their faces some early. Right, I know the condition of my team, and I know I'm prepared to run for 90+ minutes.
Ludlow Bernard, just his 2nd game in charge here of this Harbourview team. Mount Pleasant, a little bit more steady than the Harbourview team all season based on their results. Significant that this team is only in its 2nd year of Premier League football, and they're so solid, they're challenging for the title, as they did last year.
Absolutely so. Bushy Beckford, he missed their best chances last week, will want to have a better showing tonight. His overall play last Monday was good, Kamara Beckford, but he missed some chances that you wouldn't expect an 11-goal man to actually miss. This was a tremendous strike he scored against Portmore United at Arnett Gardens. And yeah, Kemar Beckford, deadly off the left foot, not so strong on the right. A good dribbler as well, and he's rediscovered the Waterhouse form, which is what, of course, made Mount Pleasant buy him in the first place. This young man is highly thought of at home down there in St. Anne. The Mount Pleasant fans really think highly of Daniel Green. I am yet to see Daniel Green do well in a TV commentary game. This is a pass to him by Kemar Beckford. I said Portmore United earlier. It was actually UWI at Arnett Gardens, and he beat Amal Knight there with the tidy finish. But I've not seen enough from Daniel Green to support how the fans feel about him. But there is a good player in here somewhere. He's quick, he's aggressive, but he just doesn't always put it together.
And let's see for the coach Paul Teagat Davis, speaking with George Davis earlier on tonight, feels he can go into this one and reverse the result they had last week.
Teagat, you didn't get the result you wanted last week. Perhaps you didn't get the result that you felt your performance dictated. What adjustments have you made for tonight's game?
It's the same football we're going to play tonight, you know. And that we're going to be more cautious and monitor the time more properly tonight, you know. And basically we try to score those goals we've been missing, you know. So if we can get those chances and take them away, we can come again victorious tonight.
On the point of the goal scoring, you missed some very good chances in the run of play before you were sucker punched at the end. Did you have words with your attackers, or did you just do extra drills?
I just work, you know. You don't curse them and put them down, you know, because that's football, you know. We just work. So hopefully tonight we can get some goals.
Your defenders at times had problems with the young, very fast, very aggressive Harbourview attackers. Is that something you've spoken to them about, perhaps devised a plan to shackle the likes of Norman Campbell tonight?
No, you know, they weren't giving us no problem. They weren't getting behind us, you know. That's that one mistake we make, you know. Yes, good player, strong, fancy and thing, but I think we continue, you know, for 89 minutes or 90 minutes and we just lapse. And when you give a good player like that a chance like that, he's going to take it just like myself, you know.
Absolutely. The Harbourview coach, Ludlow Bernard, made an observation. He said, look, he felt that as the game grew longer, your team got more tired, which is why he made offensive changes late in the game. Do you agree with the analysis from your opposing number that your team ran out of steam late in the contest last week?
You know, when you win, you can't say anything, you know, so let it rest like that. Yeah.
You don't think your team has a stamina issue?
No, you know, that's right. That's where we just lapse. We should have monitored that 3 minutes. Instead, the guys went for the kill, so to speak, you know, and we got caught.
Mount Pleasant, their motto, one love, one aim, one destiny, which tonight is to defeat Harbourview for the first time this season, having gone down to the Stars of the East twice already this season. Being led by Ladale Ritchie, a former Montego Bay United player, and there's Nicholas Beckett, only his third game for the season, and there's Romario Campbell, missing from the starting roster last week because of injury, fit again and ready to take his starting position in this team.
Key player tonight, one suspects he's gonna be. More action coming up on football, on Sportsmax, rather, more football action. Valencia and Barcelona, Sportsmax 2, Saturday, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. ECT. And Real Madrid, they play Sunday afternoon against Valladolid, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. ECT, also on Sportsmax 2. And the Winter Olympics climax is this week, Wednesday 9 a.m. Ice hockey gold medal game. That's 10 a.m. ECT. Sportsmax and the Sportsmax app. Free skiing and snowboarding. Both the men and the women will have their big air finals Wednesday 11 a.m. high noon if you're in the Eastern Caribbean. And the closing ceremony comes up at 1 p.m. 2 p.m. ECT on Sportsmax and the Sportsmax app to cap what has been a very good competition.
So we're just about 10 minutes away from kickoff here at the Harbourview Mini Stadium, where the four-time champions Harbourview looking to position themselves for a playoff spot as we get into the final phase of the regular season, the third round of competition. 11 matches to go for these two teams here. Harbourview 9th in the table, and Mount Pleasant number 2, taking aim on the leader, Waterhouse. We'll be back with the starting lineups and the kickoff after this.
gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Banner pour them a sing anthem to. Red stripe, watch out. Man, shall I better forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run marathon boy. The red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah, yo.
Match day 23 of the Red Stripe Premier League for 2019-2020 ends tonight with Harbourview looking to score back-to-back wins over Mount Pleasant and an opportunity for them to sweep Mount Pleasant for the season, because twice they've met them so far this season, and twice they have defeated this Mount Pleasant team. And Harbourview fans, their appetite whet last week by an improved performance from their team, and to boot a victory over the number 2 team Mount Pleasant would leave them happy.
Yeah, Harbourview could take 2 more stars on that club crest, given that they are 4-time champions. But yeah, the fans are locked in and they are ready, and they'll hope, the home fans will hope, that they won't go home disappointed as the jerk guy gets his trade off and running. Speaking of the table, Mount Pleasant are perched in 2nd place, Harbourview in 9th, but where they are in 9th, 3 more points takes them level with Tivoli in 7th place, and of course within reach of a playoff spot, which is where everybody wants to be. Huey and Veer United, they'll take safety. They won't matter about the playoffs too much. They just want to escape the relegation purgatory, and as things stand now, it looks very, very difficult for UWI and Veer United to be a part of the Elite 12 in Jamaica next season from here.
And with 6 minutes till kickoff, let's hear from these panelists who have become popular on the Red Stripe Premier League Football Monday Night Show.
My name is Norwin Gay, a long-time follower of Harbourview football. I've been following Harbourview football officially from about 1974. Unofficially, a couple of years before that. However, we have always been up in the tops because we play intelligent football. We are one of the best passing teams coming up over the years. However, the present team now not so, but I still believe I can make a one-love tonight.
O'Neill, I support Mount Pleasant from Super League days still. If you look out for Kemarbeckford tonight, we are looking about 4-1 the game will finish. That's how we
Ray, Mount Pleasant, all the way, Ray! Yeah. Peter. I'm not a singer either. You know, see, but I tell you, see, when you're beating a good team, the best score is what? One love.
Well, that's exactly what happened last week. One love. Mount Pleasant beaten after their trip from St. Anne to Kingston to tackle a Harbourview team that they were expected to beat, but they came up against a resilient Harbourview team that fought to the end.
Yeah, galvanized by the arrival of the new manager, the new head coach, Ludlow Bernard, and the boys really played for him. They ran hard from minute 1 to the final whistle. Mount Pleasant also ran hard, but he just felt that Teague Davis's team lost some legs at the crucial point in the game, and that's at the crucial point that Harbourview stepped up and scored through Norman Campbell. A deserved victory, you felt, although on the other hand you could say that Mount Pleasant were unlucky to leave here empty-handed after their contribution to what was an engrossing spectacle at the very least.
Getting close to kickoff time here at the Harbourview Mini Stadium, with the fans strolling in and the teams about to take the field for the final match of match day 23. We're into the 3rd and final round of the competition. Harbourview, with a win tonight, will move within 2 places of a playoff spot. Mount Pleasant, if they win tonight, will join Waterhouse at the top of the table on 43 points, but they'll have to win by more than 4 clear goals to unseat Waterhouse as championship leaders because of the small matter of goal difference. But comparatively speaking, Mount Pleasant would have to enter this match again as the favourites, as they were last week. But as we saw, this Harbourview team is not a team to be taken lightly, and their home fans have been buoyed by the recent successes they've had. and the new coach Ludlow Bernard set to get some good results from this team.
Two things can happen. Either Harbourview would have been, as you say, buoyed by the 1-0 victory last week to say, well, this Mount Pleasant team, they are no great shakes. We softened them up last week. We can do it once again, and we're going to come and repeat the trick. Or they can be satisfied. They can rest on the laurels from last week to say, well, the head coach came, he was new, we gave him something, and yeah, we just need to turn up, and the result will come once again. Either line of thought is potentially dangerous.
Alan Skilcole, one of the most outstanding footballers Jamaica has ever produced. In fact, in some people's eyes, unquestionably the most gifted player ever to come out of these shores. And he's one of the spectators tonight. Red Stripe Football Mondays. Harbourview at home to Mount Pleasant. 12 wins already this season, this Mount Pleasant team. No team has scored more wins than they have so far this season. Waterhouse also have 12 wins under their belt. Mount Pleasant only in their second season of the Red Stripe Premier League. They were beaten semi-finalists last year by the eventual champions Portmore, and what a start they've had to their campaign as top flight footballers in the country.
I'd say for 80 minutes last week, Mount Pleasant did everything tactically that they want to neutralize the whatever attacking thrust that Harbourview had, relegated them to long shots from outside the penalty box, and they created the openings for themselves which the strikers didn't take. And then it was more than tactics, because late in the game when the fatigue told, it was Harbourview work running stronger at the finish, and that's how they came up with the one goal, which was proved decisive.
There's Jeremy Nelson, first outing tonight for Mount Pleasant, having been the leading scorer for Malines, but is one of several players who have made a move on the January transfer. There's Macaulay Tullow, former St. George's Manning Cup winner, now back in the Harbourview lineup. Here's the national anthem.